Hi everyone, I have another review video for you today, and we are going to be chatting about my mini square Chanel flap, which is currently in the dust bag. And I've had this bag for about 8 months now, and I wanted to share what my experience has been so far, how I store the bag, the wear and tear, things I've noticed, what fits inside, all that fun stuff. So if you have been considering this bag for a while, hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a better understanding if you want to get this bag or not, and whether or not it fits in your lifestyle. So grab a snack and let's jump into it. So first and foremost, I wanted to share how I typically store this bag because that is very important. So this is my only lambskin bag in my entire collection, and the way I typically store it is in the dust bag. I don't keep it in the box because you still want to let it breathe. And for some precaution, I use the tissue paper that was provided when I first purchased the bag to wrap the chain so it does not scratch the top part of the lambskin. And then on the inside of this bag, I have the chain on top. So I usually just pull it inwards if I am not using this bag. You don't typically want to leave the chain dangling. It could create indents in the leather, which is something we do not want. On the inside, I also use the stuffing that it came with. And that is pretty much how I store this bag. So when I use it, I pull the chain out, I remove all the tissue paper and the stuffing, and she is ready to go. But this is my Chanel mini square flap in lambskin. I also have the light gold hardware, which some people love, some people don't, but I personally love it because it's not too much of a yellow gold. But she is beautiful, she's a classic, and surprisingly very durable, which brings me to my next point, which is the wear and tear. And now that it's been a lot cooler in Las Vegas and it's currently the winter season, I have been using this bag a ton and I love it so much. And the reason why I try to limit using it in the summer, unless I know I'm going to be inside most of the time, because sun exposure could actually damage the bag over time. So if you're not familiar with Las Vegas weather, it can get over 110 degrees in the summer, so I definitely try to keep it out of the sun if possible. So I definitely don't want the heat to wear out the leather, and fortunately we do have a drier climate here in the desert as well. But I've also heard that if you have extreme humidity, then to be cautious about using your leather bags as well, because the humidity can also damage the bag. So just some food for thought there. Depending on the climate that you live in, could really impact how your bag wears over time. And all of that is to say that this bag has been wearing really well. It's actually held up so much better than I anticipated. I was really scared when I first purchased this bag because one, it was my first lambskin piece, and two, I was really scared that it was going to be prone to getting scratches. But honestly, I was closely examining it and there are no scratches right now. And I don't really overly baby this bag, and thankfully there are no scratches. Even with like the way the hardware is here, I thought that it was going to eventually, you know, scratch or kind of start showing hairline marks, but the hardware also looks really great, so I'm very happy about that. And another thing I want to mention is that whenever I post a photo or a video of this bag online, some people will say like, oh, it looks kind of crooked on my end, like Chanel quality is so bad, but that is actually because this particular bag does not have a double flap. So as you can see on the side, it actually is a more triangular shape over here. So depending on the angle that I will capture this bag, like sometimes if it's a flat lay, it's going to be more of like a triangular shape. So it does angle downwards compared to my Chanel Classic flap, which has a additional flap on the inside. It kind of makes it more symmetrical, but this bag in particular has more of a triangular shape. So I think that's really important to note, because if I were to take a flat lay of it, it's gonna look like this, and then to some people it's gonna look like it's crooked or like something's like wonky about it. But when I have it sitting up like this, it should be perfect. I definitely made sure to examine this bag very closely before I spent the money on it, because yes, I have seen a ton of Chanel bags in the boutique that are not perfect. I could easily spot imperfections on them, but that is also up to the consumer to inspect their bags before they purchase it. I'm just saying, don't come for my bag, because I made sure it was perfect before I spent the money on it. Next up, I want to briefly talk about what fits inside, because it was ultimately the deciding factor whether or not I was going to purchase this bag. So I'm happy to say if you have like an iPhone Pro, it will fit in this bag. So I have the 14 Pro and it fits very flush. I love it. It fits very, very flush. If you have a Pro Max, I would say the mini rectangle is your best bet because that fits into the mini rectangle size. It will not fit into a mini square. And because of the square size, I still have some room in here. So typically I will carry my card holder, just a very slim one because we want to maximize our space. I also have a hand cream because it is so dry in the desert all the time, so I need to have a hand cream. And I always have some kind of a lippy with me. This is the Kaja lip oil. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't. And it's so compact that it also fits in here. And as you can see, everything fits really well. And then if I'm driving myself, I can also fit my keys like right on top and it's perfect. If not, then Jeff will hold on to it. So for me, I could probably fit like a travel perfume in here. I still have space for that. Just a lot of like small things. So if you want to carry 2 lippies with you, could probably fit in here. If you have a slim or like a mini hand sanitizer, that will also fit in here. I usually keep hand sanitizer in my car now, so I try not to carry it in my bag. But this is just a very realistic, like what I will carry in my bag if I am using this. I typically travel pretty light, so this is, again, very perfect for my lifestyle. And the last thing I want to share with you are some mod shots because I think that is so important. So I am 5'2" for reference, and this bag is perfect when I'm wearing it crossbody. So if you are taller, it may hit you a little bit higher on your hip, just some food for thought. Now, because I am short, I don't wear this bag with its full length chain on my shoulder because it looks a little wonky and it's just way too long on my frame. So another thing that sold this bag for me is that with Chanel, if you are purchasing a mini flap, I don't know if this applies to all the other bags, but you will get a little chain adjuster and they do include this at no extra charge. I don't think you could buy this a la carte in the boutique, but I will link some chain adjusters down below if you're interested. This one just happens to be really cool because it's very sleek and very easy to use. Let me take this out real quick to show you. This is what it looks like when I open the chain adjuster. So it's pretty easy to use. I will just typically hook one side to one side of the chain and then the other side to the other side of the chain, and then you will just secure it, pulling up this middle piece. I think this is in focus, but ultimately this is what it will look like when it is in the bag. So what I love about this is that it is so easy to use. The excess chain will hang out inside the bag. It will not damage the bag at all, and I do recommend not overstuffing your bag because then that adds more pressure onto the chain. But typically there's no issues, and then I can wear this as a shoulder bag, and it is so cute and I love the versatility of this. But recently, because it's been so cold, I usually have multiple layers, and wearing this crossbody is just perfect. It fits over my puffer jackets and like all my layers, and it still looks really cute. But I hope you enjoyed this video and got some clarity on whether or not you think this bag is the right fit for you. But if you have any other questions about this bag, be sure to leave it in the comments below, or feel free to DM me on Instagram and I will do my best to get back to you. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!